Nigeria's robotic and artificial intelligence ecosystem is thriving. And it is not just thriving in places like Lagos or Abuja alone, it is also thriving in places like Ibadan and all across Nigeria. Hi everyone, this is Babatunde. A few days ago, I was honored to actually attend the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Summit in Ibadan. And I have to say it was an impactful one. I joined a couple of speakers to actually explore the impact of AI and spatial computing in the Nigerian ecosystem. But apart from the conference itself, there was a very impressive part, and that is the exhibition. I was truly impressed by the incredible projects exhibited at the event, and these projects were worked on by young, talented, and deeply passionate individuals. Their work, for me, has been nothing short of inspiring, and that is why I was pretty motivated to showcase their brilliance today. In this video, the one you are about to watch, you will catch a glimpse of some of their groundbreaking projects. Although many of them are still in works, but I think a lot of them has a lot of potential. What these young minds have been able to achieve is pretty remarkable. I am very honored to be able to share their work today. I hope by taking a look at their work, hearing from them, that it sparks some sort of inspiration for you to be able to work on that project you've been abandoning. Or if you have the means, be able to contact some of these students, provide them funding, mentorship, or simply be able to help them spread the word on their amazing solution.
Hi, my name is Fadlullah Abdurrahim.
Can you give us a bit, can you tell us a bit about your project?
Yes, so this is a robot car that always moves forward. The name I call it is Ashwaju. Alright, it works on PID. It works on PID, proportional integral derivative. So what it does is that it always moves forward, no matter the disturbance that you try to. Like, if you try to turn it, you always find a way to just go back forward. So how it works is that there is a sensor here. This sensor is a gyroscope sensor. So this is what gets the angle, right? So what I did is that I set a desired set point. The desired set point is 0 degrees, right? So that's like a straight line. So once the sensor detects that, okay, I'm no longer in my desired set point, right? There is now an error, right? So that error is sent to the my microcontroller, which is the Arduino. That Arduino now sends the proper control that's going to set the car back to its normal position. It sends it to the L29 motor, which is what controls the tire. So the tire actually work on based on differential. So if you want to turn, one side will actually like reduce or stop moving, and the other side will the other side will.
So what sort of use case, like in the real world?
Oh, there are multiple use cases for this. For example, in the industry, you don't want your robot to be moving hazardously. You want a set point, so you can.
So this will always be stable.
Yes.
Like in terms of it will not shake. It will always balance itself back to the angle you want.
If there is any disturbance, it will go back to. Yeah, it will go back to.
Is it possible for us to see?
Yes, of course you can see it. So if I try to do this, do you see that it wants to keep going forward?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So how much work went into this?
A lot of work, because actually there's this thing we call fine tuning. Actually trying to know the appropriate action that should be taken once a degree of error has occurred. So that's actually like kind of a serious.
How long did it take you?
It took me say like less than a week, I guess.
But so you handled both the hardware and software aspect of things?
Yes, I did.
How did you get your material? Did you buy them?
Yes, we actually bought it. These are provided by Rain.
By Rain?
Yes.
Quite
provided by
Rain. You have another project here, although you said it's not yours.
Yes.
Let's speak a bit more about it.
All right. So this is the iMop.
What do you call it?
IMOP.
IMOP.
Industrial.
IMOP.
Yes, IMOP. Industrial Mobile Robot Platform. So this can carry up to a weight of 250 kilogram, right? And it has obstacle detection. So when it's there's an obstacle in front of maybe like 70 centimeters away, it automatically stops. It can actually be controlled via voice or through a remote from my phone. And we can test it if you want.
You said this was built by Rain.
Yes.
But you helped in the
Yes, I did some part of.
Interesting. Can you speak a bit about? Okay, you said we can test.
Yeah, let me just test it.
Yeah,
you can stand on it.
So I'm putting my life on your.
Yeah, there's no problem. So you have to brace for impact. I'm about to move it forward. Are you ready? Yes. I'm reversing now. Yes, careful. Then. Yeah.
Interesting.
You can on the light if you're in the dark and stuff.
Where was the light?
Yeah, see.
Oh. Are you familiar with the sort of use cases this could serve?
Yeah, this also works in industries where you need heavy lifting, heavy stuff to carry. Yeah, so this can work.
What was the maximum weight you said?
250 kilogram.
Yes. For the technology and effort that went into it, can you
it's a lot. It's a lot. Yes, it's a lot.
Thank you very much
for
walking us through this.
Yeah, right.
It was nice speaking with you.
It was also nice.
My name is Tenifayo Fagbemi.
Tenifayo.
Yes.
Can you walk us through your idea?
So my project is a vehicle brand and car recognition system. So it's able to detect the brand of the vehicle and also the plate number. And it has also an added feature of checking it in the FRSC database to verify if it's a valid plate number. So yeah, that's what my project is.
Sounds interesting. I will take a leap and say AI is involved in this process.
Oh yes.
So tell us more about the technology aspect of things.
Okay, so I use an object detection model to be able to tell what brand it is and what the plate number is, and also to be able to read the characters on the plate number. I'm also using a detection model. So normally I would have used a normal OCR model, but because of the characters on the Nigerian plate number, sometimes they can be a bit tricky, so I had to create my own model just for these characters.
Interesting. You created your own model?
Yeah, using YOLO V8.
Interesting.
Yes.
So can you give us the difference between object detection and OCR?
OCR. So OCR is optical character recognition. So that recognizes characters on a plate. But object detection detects the presence of a particular object in an image or video. So with object detection, it can be detecting a chair, depending on what the model is trained to do. But for character recognition, it has to be characters like actual lettering.
I see.
Yeah.
But you say you extract the plate number, correct?
Yeah.
So is the level of OCR not involved in that?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I had to create an OCR model, but I also used object detection.
So
instead,
the
object that I'm detecting now here is the character. That's Yes, because with a normal OCR model, some of the characters, when it wasn't picking it up, like if you look at the Nigerian plate number, there's the 0 and there's the D. For a normal character, for a normal OCR model, it's not able to differentiate sometimes between the O and the D, and that's why I had to go ahead to create my.
So how much work did it take you to?
Oh, it took a lot of work. The annotating parts, because with object detection, you always have to annotate what you are trying to detect before now sending it as the input, like what the output. The input is like the pictures, and then the output is the label for it. So having to annotate on various images, so it's just so the model could learn properly what characters.
What was the volume of your data set, do you think?
Oh, so for the vehicle brands, because I'm working with like 10 different brands, so I had like 100 images for each of the brands, so that's like 1,000. Then for the plate number, I had like 200 images too for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I told you, I asked how much time and compute it took. So for the training of your model, where did you train?
I trained it using Google Colab.
Google Colab.
Yes.
Oh, Colab. Interesting. Yes. So it was not paid. Was it paid?
Was it?
Paid.
Oh no, it wasn't paid. I didn't need as much compute, so it wasn't paid.
So you also said you verify the numbers on the FIRS.
Yes.
So do they have an API for that? How is that integration?
Okay, so they have website. So with the website, it's just literally a search and come in.
Okay, so for now it is manual. Is it for now? It's
Oh
a
no, it's
manual
not.
process.
So I'm using a request. I send my request to the. So it's like a search. So my system sends the plate number after detecting it. It sends it here.
Is
I'm
there?
trying to
Do they
refresh
provide an
this page.
API?
Oh no, it's just their website.
Oh,
So I'm sending
you go
it.
to-
I'm scraping their website literally.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
They don't have.
That's quite an
available price.
innovative approach to things. Because when you said you were using them, I was thinking, did FIRS really create an API for people to access?
Yeah.
And they did not. I think that's an innovative approach. Well done. So where do you see the project going, like the future? Because I can already imagine many things. So the future, where do you think?
Okay, so there are a lot of use cases for this project. Like there are a lot of institutions where they have to take note of the vehicles that are coming, their plate number. Most of the scenarios we have now, they're usually handwritten by the security personnel. So if this can be scaled up to be able, if you have webcams just in front, so the images can be run.
Not just that, the government, especially in Lagos,
Yeah, the
they
government.
really need this
Okay.
in terms of maybe a driver did something bad.
Okay.
If there are cameras across various streets or various road parts, they could easily detect the driver that either is overspeeding or is doing some sort of nefarious activities,
Yeah.
log that, and they know who it is.
Yeah,
So that's
they
like
have
one
the
key,
data.
very core use case for the government
Yeah.
that I know that they do not fully even have now. So
Okay.
very
All
interesting.
right. Thank you.
I'll definitely try to put this out there
Oh, thank
so
you.
enough people can have eyes on it.
Okay.
Nice to
Nice
speak
to
to
meet
you and know some
Thank you
people.
so much.
My name is Adu Ayomide. Adu Ayomide. Yeah, it's a trainee at Rain for now. So I'm working on a school management system. Many things have been made easy for different sectors already. But education, I mean the lower part, not the higher institutions now. People don't really consider them. Teachers go through a lot of things already, doing everything manually. So I'm trying to create a fully automated school system such that you assign teachers to classes and subjects, and the admin can take care of that. And then the staff from their portal can input student scores, and then all the calculations are done in-house. I mean, the grading, who is the first, who is the second. If you anywhere you need to bring the previous term forward, that is done automatically. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is just put your first test and your second test. And
Is
then
there
you
any
have,
hardware involved?
no hardware involved for this.
So you are fully like a
Fully-
software.
Yes, software development. That's web.
So what sort of impact do you think this would have?
So this is going to assist teachers reduce their workload and then give them more time to focus on many other things.
I see. I think it's actually an amazing one.
Thank you.
So far you've exhibited. What has been the feedback?
What I'm using behind, because these projects, I'm also doing it for maybe like adults or people that are not really digitally inclined. So if you don't know how to work with the interface, how do you then interact with this website? So I've tried implementing the use of voice. So you use the activation word hello, and then you can start to give it instructions. Like if you want to input scores, you can tell it take me to the score entry page. It takes you to the score entry page, and then this part I'm not yet done with it, and that's the part where you're supposed to say so name, maybe John Paul Chooks. It should bring the student's name out and the information field, and then you say first test 20 or second test 30. You can use your mouth to call it, and then all calculations are done.
What's your stack? The stack, like what stack, software stack do you use?
Python Flask.
Interesting. So it's purely a backend
Yes, purely backend
system
and
for
databases.
for now.
Yes.
So which means you are planning on having a front end because you said
I have a front end already. It's a full
which
stack
means-
actually.
that's
Yeah, it's
why I
full
was
stack.
asking you. So it's me. What are you using for your front end?
I'm using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
So vanilla.
Yeah.
Straight up. Vanilla, like you are not using a framework like Next.
No. Or
So
React
purely,
JS. Yes, just
purely-
HTML, CSS, and
okay.
JavaScript.
Interesting. I think it's actually a nice project.
I think we learn every day. Now I've just read vanilla. Vanilla. Okay.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
My name is Awaziko Nsmana Ambani.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your project about?
My project is a 3D ARM graphics simulator which is like a digital twin for the human arm. So it's supposed to replicate the different arm movements for a human arm in real time. Like now we have it. So I'm rendering the data I'm getting from my application onto an animation software called Blender. Okay, so if I like control, this is to control the upper arm, that's the full length of the arm. If I like move the hand upwards, it moves with the animation. If I like move it
Interesting.
sidewards, it moves to animation. And I can also control the fingers with this. As it, I can wave. See. So this is just a step in physiotherapy, in this physiotherapy field. This can be used by physiotherapists to be able to perform online virtual sessions for patients who might not want to come physically. So the physiotherapist can just put on this device and another built device will be worn on the patient's arm. And whatever action the physiotherapist is doing, the patient will also be able to perform that action. So yes.
Very, very interesting. Okay, so I can see that you connected Blender
Yes.
to the hardware.
Yes.
How is that connection happening?
Okay, so in here is an ESP. The ESP is actually routing to a Flash server, which is like the back end for it, and the back end is now connected to Blender, which is it's using a real-time connection to send the data. So any information is getting from the two sensors, it's routing that data back to Flash server, and Flash server is automatically communicating that to Blender. Yes, that's the communication flow.
Okay. What model are you using? Is that like a, what do they call it? Ready Player Me model, Avatar model? Where did you get the model from?
Okay, I got this character from Mixamo.
Oh, Mixamo.
Yes.
Nice. So even Mixamo characters are rigged already.
Yes.
In terms of.
Yes.
Oh. So when I first saw this, I'm not going to lie, I was thinking, okay, makes sense. I was thinking actually maybe it would serve like maybe remote control of like robotic arms,
Yes.
because that sounds it looks like what I'm looking at. But you said something around physiotherapy, which is actually an interesting use case. But this sounds, you also mentioned digital twin,
Yes.
which is one of, I would say, one of the emerging technologies, probably under the metaverse, or it stands on its own. So, robotic arm looks like an awesome use case. Now, for the hardware aspect of things, did you do that yourself?
Yes, I did that myself.
What hardware are involved in this?
Okay, so in here is an ESP, that's the microcontroller. We have a TCA bus, that's an I2C board that can aid for I2C communication between two MPU servers. And here is an MPU sensor, and it's another MPU sensor here inside. And I'm powering it with the power bank too. Yes.
Oh, interesting. So I did know you said you use Flask for the backend.
Yes, I used to.
Was any coding involved in this?
Yes.
And what?
Yes. I use Arduino to code this, the ESP. So the Arduino is routing to the Flash server, and the Flash server is routing to this Blender animation. It's a three-way communication. Yes.
I see. It's really an awesome project, to be honest. At least so far out of all the projects I've seen, this is very, very strong. And I think it actually has like many verticals in terms of use cases.
Thank you.
Quite interesting. Thank you for speaking with me. I look forward to maybe seeing you again. I look forward to also seeing this project in a more advanced stage.
Yes. Definitely.
My name is Ayinde Abdusogbu.
Daniel.
Ayinde Abdusogbu.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
I see you are part of those presenting here.
Yeah, I'm a student at Rain also.
At
I'm a student at Rain.
Rain.
Yeah.
Interesting. Can you tell us a bit about your project?
Okay, basically now it's called the home addressing system, but in the future I would like to call it the location whisperer. So what it does, it gives each address a code instead of long addresses, more like a father to the fatherless.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
So what sort of use case does that serve?
So this is it. Yeah, yes, can I use the both of us as an example? Yes. Fine. I want to come to your place now. Let's say your house address is Lagbaja Street, number 27, Agbowo area, blah blah blah. Instead of that long one, and your house is in Oyo State. So instead of that long Lagbaja Street, blah blah blah, it's going to be OY since it is Oyo State. OY, the first two is Oyo, OY. The next one are alphanumerics, 5 letters. So in conclusion, the codes are 7 alphanumerics alphabets. So it will be alphanumerics characters. So OY, instead of Lagbaja street number or something, it's going to be OY maybe J3W62. The codes are generated from your latitude and longitude currently.
I actually wanted to ask that this sounds like a coordinate
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
generated from your
solution.
latitude and longitude.
So are you saying the whole goal is to reduce long addresses to something short?
Yeah.
But the problem with that I see, but you are free to correct me. The problem that I see with that is if I get the short code, how would I correlate it to the original address?
Fine. So this is my location right now. There is an issue with the network, so it's meant to show a full map, like a map here. So right now we are in this place, Oyo State. The first two are OY for Oyo. The V6, V88 are generated from the latitude and longitude. You get? So assuming I'm going to another place now, assuming I'm coming to your place, you are here now, and I'm going to your house now, and the code of your house is, let me take some codes from here. So assuming this is a code from your house. So it's going to show the path from here to your place, from where you are right now to where you are going to.
Quite
So that's how it's working.
So what do you think the precision of this is? Like how precise it is compared to coordinates? Because coordinates are pretty precise.
Since it uses your latitude and longitude, so I can say it's
Okay, so as a user, say I want to use this. I get my full address, I come to your platform, I input the full address, you give me a short code. Yeah, walk us through.
as a user, once you enter the website, click on locate me, it's going to generate a code for your location.
Oh,
That's how it works.
interesting.
Your location, your exact location is going to generate a code for it. After generating a code for it, assuming you want to come to my house now, I've given you a code to my address. So just put it in the in the address part. Just put it there. It's going to show the path from your place to my place.
Oh. Okay. So what problem do you think this solves? What problem do you think it solves?
Like I said earlier, I said the father to the fatherless. So it's going to give you an address if you don't have an address that it can be seen on the map. So because Lagbaja Street something cannot be found on Google Map or anything, with this it's going to give you a path from your place.
Okay, so what stacks did you use?
What
Stacks did you use? Like
JS,
JavaScript.
HTML, CSS, Python to run this.
Are there any open source, maybe APIs or
OSM, OpenStreetMap, OSM.
OpenShift map
Yeah.
for the map aspect
Yeah.
of things?
Yeah.
Sounds very interesting. Sounds very interesting. I don't have that much time. I would have loved to.
I would have loved to show
explore.
you more actually.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
My name is Akim Tosin. I'm a student, I'm a trainee at Aweni, Nigeria, course 14, studying artificial intelligence. So my project is it's called Jana. Okay, it's an
Jani?
Jana,
Jano.
Jana, yeah.
Okay.
My niece name is Jana. So it's an application I'm building to honor her. She passed away recently, so I'm building this app to honor her.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So basically, it's a web app. It's a web app for sickle cell, for individuals in the sickle cell community. And so it's like a personal assistant, healthcare assistant to basically manage and monitor the health of sickle cell patients. And basically, what it does is that sickle cell patients usually they have what we call weather-induced crisis. They are usually triggered by temperature changes in the environment. It could be, for instance, if this room is too cold now, a sickle cell patient now can easily be triggered. Crisis can easily occur because any little can trigger their crisis. And if it gets too hot, if you are not hydrated all the time, it can also induce crisis. So the app basically monitors that. It checks the temperature within the city and also room temperature as well. So it will basically tell you the temperature in the city. For instance, the temperature in Ibadan right now is about, I think it's 29 degrees Celsius.
At least the temperature in this room, minimum.
It's real time, and it's real time temperature.
So the temperature in this room.
The temperature is, yeah, it also tell you the room temperature. The room temperature right now is 26.6 6 degrees.
Yeah, you mentioned something about temperature in Ibadan. And
Yes,
I wanted
there's-
to understand. So for the temperature in Ibadan, it's not your device that is capturing that.
No. That one is an open weather API. I'm using an
Okay.
open weather API to source the temperature in the city.
So do
the
you
one
have-
coming from the environment is I'm using Arduino. This Arduino device.
Interesting.
There's what we call DHT11, like a temperature and humidity sensor. So it basically detects the temperature readings in the room right now. So the current temperature in the room right now is 26.6 degrees Celsius. So if the temperature rises, probably if it rises to probably about 30 something, or maybe 40 something degrees. So I have like a notification system that automatically activates and send notification that the weather in the room right now is too hot. Ensure to stay hydrated, because of course sickle cell patients, they need to always stay hydrated in an hot environment. And if the temperature falls below that, of course the notification system is also triggered, and then it tells them that okay, the weather temperature is too cold. Ensure you're wearing a jacket. Try and move to probably a normal
I
temperature.
actually think it's a nice idea.
There's also a chatbot that I built using Llama. So rather than them just going to Google to basically ask, you can just interact with the chatbot directly and ask any.
So what does your final product look like? Because I'm hearing things around. So chatbots can be
Yeah.
like a personal assistant to
Yes.
the person that is sick. In
Exactly.
terms of maybe if there's a temperature
Changes.
this passes it to the chatbot and the chatbot informs them.
Exactly.
That's just
exactly.
one
You
way.
don't even have to pass into chatbots. The app itself automatically understands that okay, the temperature is hot, the room temperature is hot, or it's cold.
the
So a
recommended-
notification is automatically sent. And the notification again, it's also announced. There's a TTS part, the text to speech part that announces the notification. So I'm using an AI to announce the notification. I
So
can play that for
only this is your
This
hardware.
only detects,
This is
yeah, this
your
is only,
only
this only detects the room temperature, current room temperature right now. To detect it, display it, and based on the temperature, it will send notification. If it is too cold, okay, ensure you're protected. If it's too hot,
So what does the future look like for you? Because this looks like a POC, a proof of concept. So what does the future look like?
what I'm planning to do is I want to transform this into a mobile app, and I'm also looking for,
But not just mobile app, because
sponsorship.
maybe some mobile apps are able to detect temperature. I'm not so sure, but
Not the
you
precise temperature, the precise room temperature.
need room temperature.
Yes.
So you need. Okay. So you have this hardware. So what does the future of this hardware look
So
like?
I'm trying to make it into like a wearable device, like a wristwatch that individuals can always wear, and then the notification system can be sent directly to their wristwatch, or just like a wearable device. You get, because obviously this cannot be. Doesn't look feasible enough. So
Yeah.
something like
So
a wristwatch.
that was why I was asking future.
Something
Maybe
like a
you plan-
wristwatch that they can wear and.
So I do have one sort of advice,
Okay.
and that would be the fact that there are many equipments now or
Okay.
tools now. For example, your smartwatch
Yes.
that can tell your temperature.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So the point would now be how easy is it for you to access that, so that you remove hardware dependency of temperature checking
Yes.
from your own delivery, and you focus more on the core aspect
Core
of
aspect
things, which
of
is taking care of the patient, keeping the patient informed, keeping them comfortable,
Exactly,
and some
exactly.
sort of proactive treatment
Treatments,
or
yeah,
preemptive
exactly.
treatment.
Yes, exactly. The wristwatch you mentioned, not all wristwatches do that.
I
But
know.
Apple watches, they actually do that.
very
Apple
good.
watches do that. But I need
But I
to
don't even
understand.
know if they share the data necessarily.
That is another
They
challenge
probably do
again.
not.
Another challenge. But so far now, at least the core function of the app works. I mean,
Another thing also is outside temperature. What are the other things you can add? Because for now you are focused on the temperature aspect of things.
I'm also trying to like implement a system whereby it can, like a smart system that will be able to like predict what the weather is going to be like in the next coming days, a few days to come. Or basically, I'm even trying to put like a weather station that will probably tell you the temperature across different states in Nigeria. Yes. Because we're talking about Ibadan alone now. What about the weather in probably like a state like probably Enugu, Sokoto? What is the weather like there? Yes. So I'm trying to like implement that too as well.
All right.
So those are things I'm also considering, and I'm also looking for sponsorship. Also, if you can put me out there, one or two sponsors.
I'll definitely put you out there. I'll try my best. So he's looking for sponsorship. If
Yes,
you
I am
want to
looking for
sponsor
sponsors.
him,
Yes.
you should definitely
Sponsors
do
come.
So
This is AI. This is the
very
future.
skilled.
The present,
What are your
past,
stacks?
future.
What were the stacks you used?
I use Flask. Basically just Flask. The front end I'm using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But the major framework is just Flask.
I see.
And then I'm also using open APIs, the open weather API,
Open weather
the
API.
API from Llama, the API from 11 Labs text to speech.
for the hardware aspect of things, how good are you with the hardware aspect of things?
Well,
Or you are
I'm
still
not.
learning?
Like I said, I'm an AI ML student, artificial intelligence. Yeah, I'm not a robotics student.
Okay.
But I have like the core
Understood.
concepts. I have like the knowledge of
So
what
my
Arduino
last
is.
question will be for your AI part, are you consuming like an open AI API
Yes.
or you built your own model? So you are consuming
Yes,
like open AI.
I'm sourcing an open AI model, the Facebook Llama model.
Facebook Llama, so
Yes.
that's Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, Facebook
It's
Llama
actually open and free.
source.
It's open source,
Yeah,
it's free.
but
Yeah.
for you to access it by API, did you host it yourself? Are you running it yourself, or
No.
you got an API
I just
online?
got an API key.
Okay.
The API key is actually free.
Okay.
But of course, I'm going to get the current API key that I'm using. It's not too sophisticated, but I plan to also upgrade that.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Hi,
My name is Babatunde once again.
Idris.
Idris.
Nice to meet you.
Can you tell us a bit more about your project?
Okay, so what I'm working on is an IoT monitoring system. That's Internet of Things. So it's a system that is supposed to smartly monitor the rearing conditions of livestock. As a test case, I'm using chicks. So chicks are very sensitive to their rearing conditions, given the temperature or the lighting conditions. So the system is such that it's supposed to gather this information from the environment, note the present temperature, the light conditions. So if you can see, it's displaying some. This is a dashboard where whoever has the device who is monitoring his livestock and view from there. So you can see the present readings from the environment. So this is the environment we are presently, and the system, based on the condition, it will know if it should switch on the light when places are getting darker, or if the temperature is getting too cold, it should put on a heating device. If it's getting too hot, you can put on a cooling device in that case. So another thing is why it is capable of automatically doing these things. The person who has it can monitor from wherever it is what is being done, and if you choose to control it manually, there's a condition for manually controlling it. So you can choose to manually. Presently, the light is switched on, and the cooling source is also switched on. This is the cooling source. The cooling source is to be attached here. So this is just a prototype. And so from wherever you are, you should be able to switch off the light if you want to. If you have to switch on the heating source, you should be able to do that manually from wherever you are. And another thing is, once you switch on maybe the lights from where you are in the manual control mode, if you should switch it on from manual control to automatic mode, you should take the present conditions and know what to do, the corrections to make. Meaning now the condition shows that the light should be off, but I'll switch it on. If I turn it to automatic mode, it should automatically switch off the light on its own. So basically that's how it works as a prototype.
So you said it's for livestock.
Monitoring livestock.
Livestock. So for things around how what temperature that should be, what temperature or humidity that environment should be. Like what sort of research did you carry out around that? Is there a specific livestock for now that you are focused on?
I'm carrying, though the conditions that I put are not the actual conditions, but the research I'm carrying out are chicks. To start with them, then from there I can expand to other indoor livestock to monitor the environment and make the correction.
So what's the finality? What would you consider an advanced stage of your product?
The advanced stage, I'm going to have a product that once the product can be placed on a wall and connected to a power source. All these devices that we are talking about, like the lights, the heating source, the cooling source, will be attached to the device relatively, so that when it gets the condition of the room, it knows what to switch on and when to do it.
So like a smart, I don't want to say smart home, because this time it's not an home. It's a, what would
Somebody
I call
may
it?
see it as a smart socket, but it does different activities.
But I've forgotten the name of where livestock are kept.
Okay.
Maybe
A
a
poultry,
farm. I would just say
smart farm.
poultry.
Yeah.
So a smart farm, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's what your solution is about.
Yeah.
It's quite an interesting one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for showing us. It was nice speaking to you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to contact any of the developers or the people exhibiting, feel free to send me a DM, or you can basically message Robotic and Artificial Intelligence Nigeria Summit on LinkedIn, and they will be happy to connect you to these creators. I hope you enjoyed the exhibition as much as I did. See you on the other side.